House to come to order. Members, proceed to your seats. Will the members please rise for the invocation delivered by Pastor Tom Troth, Hillcrest Baptist Church of Frankfort, Kentucky, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Would you pray with me, please? Dear Lord, as we begin day 21 of this legislative session, we ask your blessing on all those gathered here today, including Speaker Osborne, members of the House leadership, and all staff. We acknowledge that you govern in the affairs of men. You said that a sparrow cannot fall to the ground without your notice, so we must also acknowledge that you know everything we say and do. If there's some particular thing you want us to do or not do today, we pray that you would make it plain to us. You know how distracted and self-absorbed we can be sometimes. We pray that you would give us ears to hear and eyes to see. We ask for your help in our thinking and your love in our hearts. And now may the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Tom. Sure. Clerk will sound the chimes. Members will indicate their presence. Clerk will take the roll. Being 96 members indicating their presence, a quorum is declared in the House ready to proceed. Next order of business, the excuse of absent members. Gentleman from Taylor.
Speaker, I move you, sir, that the absent members be excused in accordance with the House rules.
Without objection, so ordered. Gentleman from Taylor.
Mr. Speaker, I move to suspend the rules for the purpose of allowing members to co-sponsor bills and resolutions or to submit vote modifications and have filed the proper papers with the clerk to do so.
Without objection, so ordered. Next order of business, the approval of the journal. Gentleman from McCracken.
He has the list. Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that the journal from Wednesday, February 4, 2026 be approved.
Without objection, the journal from Wednesday, February 4th, 2026 is approved. Next order of business is the second reading of bills. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 44, Representative Chris Lewis, an act relating to robotics. House Bill 45, Representative Gordon, an act relating to the licensure of certified public accountants. House Bill 48, Representative Neighbors, an act relating to physical therapy. House Bill 49, Representative Colloway, an act relating to professional engineering and land surveying scholarships. House Bill 50, Representative Colloway, an act relating to the removal of persons unlawfully occupying real property. House Bill 212, Representative Whitten, an act relating to rabies vaccinations. House Bill 249, Representative Whitaker, an act relating to involuntary commitment. House Bill 253, with House Committee Substitute 1, Representative Tipton, an act relating to reading and language arts instruction. House Bill 257, with House Committee Substitute 1 and House Floor Amendments 1 and 2, Representative Payne, an act relating to the Education Assessment and Accountability System. House Bill 305, with House Committee Substitute 1 and House Floor Amendment 1, Representative Massaroni, an act relating to grand jury service. House Bill 309, Representative Dotson, an act relating to cultured meat products. And House Bill 387, with House Committee Substitute 1 and House Committee Amendment 1, the title amendment, Representative Meade, an act relating to the membership of the Controlled Substances Prescribing Council.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The next order of business is a report of committees. Please report.
The Families and Children Committee has met and reports House Bill 109 should pass, an act relating to the dissolution of marriage. House Bill 190 should pass with House Committee Substitute 1 and House Committee Amendment 1, the title amendment, an act relating to licensed child care centers. The Health Services Committee has met and reports House Bill 470 with House Committee Substitute 1 and House Committee Amendment 1, the title amendment, should pass. House Joint Resolution 25 should pass, a joint resolution declaring Kentucky a food is medicine state and directing state agencies to advance food if medicine initiatives. House Bill 60 should pass with House Committee Substitute 1. This is from the Natural Resources and Energy Committee, an act relating to geoengineering. House Bill 313 should pass, an act relating to city franchises. House Bill 397 should pass with House Committee Substitute 1, an act relating to trophy catfish. And the State Government Committee has met and reports House Bill 66 should pass with House Committee Substitute 1 and House Committee Amendment 1, the title amendment, an act relating to video teleconference meetings.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. All those bills and resolutions receiving favorable committee reports shall be considered as having their first reading and order placed upon the calendar. Next order of business, the orders of the day. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 419 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for a third time, by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage.
Motion is that House Bill 419 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 419, an act relating to the Kentucky Fire Commission. Representative Miles.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I yield the lady from Davis for explanation of the bill and motion thereon.
Chair recognizes the lady from Davis for explanation of the bill and a motion thereon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I ask the gentleman clerk to report House Committee Substitute HB 419.
Clerk, please report.
House Committee Substitute 1 to House Bill 419.
Lady from Davis.
Move adoption.
Motion is for the adoption of House Committee Substitute 1. Is there any discussion of the committee substitute? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. House Committee Substitute 1 is adopted. Lady from Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 419, as amended by House Committee Substitute 1, is a request brought to us from the president of KCTCS, Dr. Ryan Quarles, and also the Kentucky Fire Commission Executive Director, Bruce Roberts. They wanted some adjustments made to the Fire Commission that's already housed under KCTCS. The three main things that they're wanting to do is expand the membership from 14 to 18, most of these four already serve as ex officio members, but they would like to be voting members, so it would change them of voting members. And then there is a section that includes using the excess funds that are already available for inoculations for firefighters to use for out-of-pocket for cancer screenings, just the excess funds that are already available to be able to apply for those. And then at the request of KCTCS, they wanted a cap on the maximum amount of reimbursements for administering funds for the commission would be a maximum of 5%. And so those are the main adjustments to the things that they've requested. If there are no further questions, I move passage of House Bill 419 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1.
Question before the body is passage of House Bill 419 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk will sound the chimes. Those in favor vote aye. Those opposed, nay. Roll call is open for your vote. Have all members voted? Does any member wish to change or explain their vote? Clerk will take the roll. Being 97 members voting aye, no members voting nay, House Bill 419, as amended by House Committee Substitute 1, is passed. Lady from Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move the clencher.
Without objection, so ordered. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 103 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for a third time, by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage.
Motion is that House Bill 103 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 103, an act relating to water fluoridation programs. Representative Hart.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the gentleman from Pendleton for explanation of the bill and motion thereon.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Pendleton for explanation of bill and a motion thereon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I ask the clerk to report House Committee Substitute 1 to House Bill 103.
Clerk, please report.
House Committee Substitute 1 to House Bill 103.
Gentleman from Pendleton.
Mr. Speaker, I move adoption of House Committee Substitute 1.
Motion is for the adoption of House Committee Substitute 1. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. House Committee Substitute 1 is adopted. Gentleman from Pendleton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, House Bill 103 removes the unfunded state mandate on water producers that requires fluoride to be added to the water after the water is treated and cleaned for consumption. That is all this legislation does. It does not ban fluoride, nor does it prohibit water producers from adding fluoride to the water. House Bill 103 is, if passed or when passed, and become law, it simply removes the mandate and allows water fluoridation to become a local option. We added we added an immunity clause to the bill that would allow the water producers immunity from prosecution, whether they left fluoride in the water or kept it out of the water. House Substitute 1 clarifies the language of this so that it more specifically defines what our goal was, which was to give the water producers immunity from lawsuits regardless of whether they kept the fluoride in or out of the water. Mr. Speaker, if there's no questions, I move passage of House Bill 103 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1.
Question before the body is passage of House Bill 103 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Mason 70 for discussion of the matter.
I'd like to comment on the bill, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, sir.
So I wore my tie today, so I thought today would be the day to get up and run my mouth. Folks, I will say I want to encourage you to vote for this bill. I'm going to spare you the Pirates of the Caribbean, the crossbone speech this year, but I just want to say please vote for this bill, and thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the chance to say that.
Thank you, gentlemen. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Fayette 45 for discussion of the matter.
Wish to speak on the bill?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just wanted to make sure that the body was aware that when serving on the Make America Healthy Again task force, during the interim period that we did receive a written statement from a dentist in our community, and I would say that this is someone who is very strongly aligned with the larger MAHA movement of not wanting to over-medicate, over-program, over-chemicalize Kentuckians or Americans in general. But that person still, in their written statement that was provided to the MAHA task force, was still calling on us to maintain the fluoride mandate, saying that if we didn't, that would require a lot more expenses. He cited specifically increased Medicaid expenditures, but also to keep the damages down of tooth decay, and that recommended alternative prevention programs, statewide school sealants, fluoride varnishes, additional silver oxide treatments. So anyway, I just wanted the chamber members to be aware that in our MAHA task force over the interim that this was recommended against. Hope you consider that, and I'll be voting no on this bill today. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Campbell 67 for discussion of the matter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I ask the gentleman from Pendleton a question?
He will yield.
Yeah. Thank you. So I'm just trying to get my head around this practically. So as an example, and I just had some notes. I'm looking at the 17 water systems in the Northern Kentucky Ad District, and I note, for example, the Boone Florence water system and Florence water system and the Boone County water system, they all buy water from Cincinnati, not from anyone in Kentucky. And I'm just trying to understand the implications. For example, if Florence Water decides they don't want fluoride, how does that work when they're buying water from another district and even out of state?
Gentleman from Pendleton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The way that would work, and I guess the caveat to the whole thing, the districts buying the water for their water distribution plants, they're not the districts that make the decision. The decision is made by the water producers. So if Florence Water didn't want to buy fluoride from, let's say, Cincinnati, if Cincinnati puts fluoride in their water, then that would be their decision to decide whether or not they buy it. But Florence Water, they don't make the decision for the producer. The producer makes the decision.
Okay, thank you. May I speak on the bill? May I speak on the bill?
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
So, I mean, I appreciate the answer. I don't think that's what this bill says. I'm not offhand sure what the definition of a water system is, but I understand a system would be a producer or a buyer or a distributor, or, you know, and I worry, and again, I haven't looked at the whole state. We talked a little bit, this came before the interim committee of state during the summer in state government. I believe we had the Louisville Water District talking about this, and they sell to all sorts of other systems. I just am very seriously worried about the logistics of this. Again, Northern Kentucky Ad District, we have 17 water districts, 8 produce water that are also selling to places outside the Ad District. We have Cincinnati Water selling to 3 districts in Northern Kentucky. We have 1 district in Bracken County selling, I believe, to East Pendleton County. 9 are buying water only. I just don't know how, if you allow all these systems to have their choices, how this whole water system and how we distribute water in the state doesn't break down. So that's why, among a lot of other health and public health reasons, that's why I will be voting no. Thank you.
Chair recognizes the lady from Fayette 76 for discussion of the matter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Would the sponsor yield to a question?
He will yield.
Last year's version of this bill had a fiscal impact statement enclosed with it. Why was that not provided this year?
Last year's bill did not. Oh, sorry, Mr. Speaker.
Gentleman from Pendleton.
Last year's bill did not have a fiscal impact statement. The Cabinet for Health produced a fiscal impact statement, and they produced the same statement that they released this year. There's no fiscal impact statement to this because it's an unfunded mandate. There's no money coming from the state to the local governments that have to, or the local water districts that have to put fluoride in water. They have to pay for that out of their own local funds. So there should be no physical impact to the state because it's an unfunded mandate.
Lady from Fayette.
Would the Speaker yield to a follow-up question, please?
No, I will not.
All right, may I speak on the bill then, please?
Yes, she may.
Thank you. I understand that there is no local fiscal impact on an unfunded mandate. However, this is a preventative health treatment. This has significant fiscal impact to our state with the Department of Medicaid. I'm very concerned, especially in a budget year when we are working to address Medicaid expenditures, that we would have informal evidence from the Cabinet for Health and Family Services that this proposed legislation, I'm going to read quote unquote, our conservative estimates are that the Medicaid program would spend an additional $250 per child in a county that ceases to fluoridate its water. For every 10% of Kentucky's child population that no longer has fluoridated water, the Medicaid program will spend an additional $17 million annually. So I want all of you, as we are considering this legislation, as well as our budget for the upcoming biennium, to understand that this bill would potentially cost the state an additional $17 million. So yes, there is a major fiscal impact, and I hope you all will consider that in your vote. Thank you.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Jasmine for discussion of the matter.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. As the chairman of the MAHA Task Force, I just wanted to clear up a couple things that were said on the floor here. First of all, the dentist that came before our task force was speaking in support of water fluoridation. I would expect him to do so. However, what was not said on this floor with that testimony was that this bill does not ban fluoride. It does not tell a local government you cannot put fluoride in the water. It simply says it is optional. And so that is a very important word to understand, is optional. And so this bill, House Bill 103, does not say that you have to take fluoride out. So I would encourage those that would be opposed to this bill, if you say that we have to have fluoride in our water, go and make your pitch to the individual local governments as they're deciding whether or not to put it in their local water supply. This bill does not do that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes the lady from Fayette 93 for discussion of the matter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I ask the sponsor a question?
Yes, he will yield.
Thank you. Sponsor, how will this bill impact dental health outcomes for Kentuckians, particularly for those in low-income communities?
Gentleman Pendleton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm not real sure how it would impact. We've been fluoridating the water since 1962, and out of 50 states, there's only one other state that has worse oral health than we do. So that data suggests that it doesn't work at all. All the dentists that have worked with me on this bill that are in support of my bill, they've explained to me that the benefits of fluoride come when it's topically applied to the teeth, not when it's ingested in the water. So I'm not real sure how to answer your question because, one, I'm not a dental professional, and I do use fluoride, but I use it through my toothpaste and my mouthwashes and that stuff. So I think maybe there's data out there that's not really. I think it's contradictory because it don't support the evidence don't support that fluoridation in the water works. Because if it did work, because we're one of 13 states that fluoridate the water, that mandate fluoridated water, we've got the quintessential model, so to speak, but yet we have only one other state beats us in oral health and having the worst oral health. So I don't think the data really suggests that this is solving the oral health problem, but it does allow for local governments and people to have a choice. And that's all we're trying to do here. Let the people drinking the water make the decision. Let the people decide whether or not they want fluoride in the water. Because there are scientific reports out there that suggest that too much fluoridation causes decreased brain development and intellectual development in fetuses and newborn babies. So from my standpoint, it looks to me like the dental community is probably split on whether or not it's good or bad, but That's not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to just undo an unfunded mandate, let the people closest to the water, let the people drinking the water make the decisions. It's the government's responsibility to produce the cleanest drinking water they can for their citizens. It's not the government's responsibility to force any type of medical or dental treatment onto its citizens.
Lady from Fayette.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I respond?
You may speak on the bill.
Oh, well, then I'm going to ask another question if he will yield.
He will yield to another question.
Awesome. Thank you. Let me ask you this, sponsor. What are the estimated costs to taxpayers to implement defluoridation in Kentucky water systems? We actually know that the science does not support defluoridation. Correlation does not equal causation, and so there will be a cost to taxpayers. And when we look at disparities across the state, some Kentuckians may not be able to afford these extra costs to defluoridate the water.
Lady from Fayette, I believe the gentleman from Pendleton has already answered the question that there is no fiscal impact statement on the bill.
Mr. Speaker, may I rephrase the question?
You may.
Sponsor, have you spoken with water systems, with the folks managing the water systems, to find out what the cost would be, the rates that would be passed on to taxpayers in order to reconfigure water treatment plants?
Gentleman from Pendleton.
Yes, we spoke to quite a few over the last several years of the water districts, and the majority of the water districts in the state support this measure. They're going to save a lot of money by not putting fluoride in the water, and it's not as much buying the chemical that they add to the water to create the fluoride ion. It's all the necessary things they have to store it. The chemical that we're using, hydrofluoroacetic acid, is an industrial waste byproduct. We're not putting pharmaceutical grade fluoride in our water. And that's such a corrosive acid, they have to have special storage rooms, special facilities, and they have to use special gloves and different things to handle the product. So they've all assured me that if they take it out of the water, that they're going to have a savings. Now, to the exact number, it would be dependent on each individual water district and how much and how less they're producing.
Lady from Fayette.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I speak on the bill?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. As someone who has had to do extensive plumbing work and make changes to my own personal house, I would very much like to know what contractors will be used to do something that will purportedly cost very little to redo in plumbing. I think there have been other concerns that have been raised on the floor, and I want to recognize the gentleman that wore the tie today. If there are safety concerns of things happening in the water districts, if you've got concerns about storage, corrosiveness, I ask all of us to please contact the Kentucky Occupational Safety and Health Administration. That's something that absolutely should be addressed. We should not have people working in unsafe conditions in Kentucky. Looking at costs, because I know that we are looking at a budget year where costs will be tight. We already know that affordability is a huge issue for Kentuckians, and I just want to let folks know that there is a much, much safer, there is a better option and a more cost-effective option for people to simply purchase reverse osmosis water pitchers. They can be purchased on Amazon, they can be purchased at Lowe's, they can be purchased at Home Depot. So I just want to call people's attention to the fact that this is not a bill that really addresses safety. This is about taking rights away from people who may want to continue fluoridating the water. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Rowan for discussion of the matter.
May I speak on the bill, sir?
Yes, sir, you may.
I've toured our local water plant and talked to the operators also, and they have the fluoride. They have separate rooms per se for to insert the fluoride into the water, and in the containers that the fluoride is in sealed containers in that particular room, the corrosion is awful. I mean, what it does to the metal, the doors, the window frames, and so forth, the corrosion. And not just imagine what that does to your body. And also, we have many different brands of toothpaste that has fluoride in it. That if you want to get your more share of fluoride, you have another option there. And thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Question before the body is passage of House Bill 103 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1. Is there any further discussion? Chair recognizes the lady from Jefferson 38 for discussion of the matter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I speak on the bill?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I rise today to share just a few important points that have persuaded me to vote no on this bill again this year. Our state health department is the appropriate entity to make this determination that has to do with public health. Our local water boards possess no requirement to have medical or health expertise, but our state health departments do. When it comes to personal choice, you have the personal choice to filter your water through a nominal one-time cost purchase of a water filter that can filter water fluoride safely. While I don't know of a way to safely add fluoride to your water for personal use, adding it is a cost-effective and safe way to do so when it's done by our local water systems who have the proper personnel and safety precautions in place to do that safely. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Fayette 77 for discussion of the matter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think this has been a lively discussion, but as I look down in the bill analysis, I want to bring one point to the attention of the body, that it says that the CDC has identified community water fluoridation as one of the top 10 great public health achievements of the 20th century due to its widespread and equitable reduction in tooth decay. That being the case, I would recommend that this body vote against this measure. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes the lady from Jefferson 34 for discussion of the matter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I speak on the bill, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I'm so glad the gentleman had just made that point because that's exactly where I was going to start, that this water fluoridation program has been named the top 10 public health achievements of the 20th century. And I think that is a difficult sentence to hear and not pause and reconsider. I also want to go back to some comments that were made earlier by the lady from Fayette 76. So it was communicated that this would cost an additional $17 million annually, but that's only 10% of Kentucky's children's population. If they no longer have the fluoride in their water, that the Medicaid program will spend an additional that's only 10%. So the number will be much greater than that. And just to make sure everybody is aware, we do have 680,000 Kentuckian children who are Medicaid recipients. And as somebody who has cared for children in my home as a foster parent, I can tell you oral health has always been a continuous problematic situation for kids that have arrived at my house. Some kids that have never been to the dentist or they have not been frequently enough. I just had a conversation with a pediatric dentist in my office yesterday who informed me that we have 7 counties that don't even have a dentist in their county. On top of that, she has a patient that has to drive 2 hours to Louisville, not because they don't have a dentist, but because the dentist there does not take WellCare, which is the Medicaid provider for that family. So this is a pretty complex issue, and with the federal cuts coming, I think it is imperative for us to think about taking away a first line of defense for not only our children, but also for adults here in Kentucky. So I will be a no on this.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Boone 66 for discussion of the matter.
Will the sponsor yield to a question, Mr. Speaker?
He will yield.
Gentlemen, how many states currently have statewide water fluoridation mandates?
Gentleman from Pendleton.
13.
Gentleman from Boone.
Will the sponsor yield to another question?
He will yield.
Sponsor, where does Kentucky rank in terms of oral health, despite being among those 13?
Gentleman from Boone, he's already answered that question.
May I speak on the bill, Mr. Speaker?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Speaker, this bill is simply about choice. This is about giving local, responsive water facilities the ability to represent their constituents and yield to their desires. That is all that this bill does. There has been significant statements against this bill, but to be clear, in response to the letter that we all received today, I do not trust the state health department that closed churches yet kept strip clubs open, that a circuit court held to say there was no rational basis by their own admission for how they handled that issue to administer public health. This is something for the local folks to make that decision on. Most states already do it. I would urge a yes vote. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Question before the body is passage of House Bill 103 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1. Clerk will sound the chimes. Those in favor vote aye. Those opposed, nay. Roll call is open for your vote. Have all members voted? Does any member wish to change or explain their vote? Clerk will take the roll. Means 67 members voting aye, 29 members voting nay. House Bill 103 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1 is passed. Gentleman from Pendleton.
Mr. Speaker, I move clincher.
Without objection, so ordered. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 276 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for a third time by title and sponsor only, placed upon its passage.
Motion is that House Bill 276 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 276, an act relating to keeping chickens on residential property. Representative Doan.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the gentleman from Kenton 69 for an explanation of the bill and motion thereon.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Kenton 69 for explanation of the bill and a motion thereon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm going to try to keep this quick. This bill would allow for the keeping of backyard chickens on residential property. No local government could enact any ordinance that would restrict someone from having 6 or fewer backyard chickens. We define backyard chickens as hens and not roosters. Local governments can still require setbacks. Should they want those, they can also include health and safety standards, as well as prohibiting the sale of chickens or of eggs on residential properties. If I'm hoping there are no questions, Mr. Speaker, I would move for passage.
Question before the body is passage of House Bill 276. Is there any discussion? Well, gentlemen, appears that there is. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Wayne for discussion of the matter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I debated on whether or not to ask the gentleman a question because I was sitting back here on the last debate and I was starting to get a real bad toothache. But and that brought me to a question. If the gentleman would yield to a question.
If I have to.
He will yield.
Gentlemen, I know you've been up here for a couple of years, and you know that you've heard the story about my egg-laying rooster. so we won't get into that. But could you tell me how many teeth, when you're trying to figure out if it's a hen or a rooster, because obviously in your bill you can't have backyard roosters. Could you tell me how many teeth that a rooster has so that you could be able to tell the difference?
Gentleman from Kenton.
Gentlemen, I believe they have beaks and not teeth.
Good question.
Gentleman
Good
from
answer.
Glad you're proud of that question, gentlemen. Chair recognizes the lady from Carroll.
Speaker, I'd like to ask the gentleman a question.
He will yield to a question.
Gentlemen, when drafting this bill, were you thinking more about local government authority or local egg production?
Gentleman from Kenton.
Neither.
Thank you, Speaker.
Lady from Carroll. Question before the body is passage of House Bill 276. Is there any further discussion? Chair recognizes the lady from Fayette 76.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I apologize. I did not even catch the punchline on my last comment. May I speak on the bill, please?
Yes, ma'am, you may.
Thank you. This is another bill that gives me some heartburn about the loss of local control. But really, what I am most concerned about is why this body is so concerned about housing for chickens and not housing for our people. So I hope we can address that soon. Thank you.
Let's limit our comments to the matter before us. Clerk will sound the chimes. Those in favor vote aye. Those opposed, nay. Roll call is open for your vote. Have all members voted? Does any member wish to change or explain their vote? All members voted. Clerk will take the roll. Being 72 members voting aye, 22 members voting nay, House Bill 276 is passed. Gentleman from Kenton.
Move for the clincher.
It is clinched. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 188 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for a third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage.
Motion is that House Bill 188 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 188, an act relating to public safety. Representative Jackson.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the gentleman from Warren 20 for explanation of the bill and motion thereon.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Warren 20 for explanation of the bill and a motion thereon.
Mr. Speaker, that's a hard act to follow, but I'm going to try. Mr. Speaker, would you please ask the clerk to report House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 188?
Clerk, please report.
House Floor Amendment 1 to House Bill 188.
Gentleman from Warren.
Move for adoption.
Motion is for the adoption of House Floor Amendment 1. Is there any discussion of the floor amendment? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. House Floor Amendment 1 is adopted. Gentleman from Warren.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Bill 188 does two things to help with mental and physical safety for those working in our jails and correctional facilities across the Commonwealth. Number one, peer support counseling. You know, these are stressful and dangerous positions. This bill allows jailers, deputy jailers, and correctional officers employed by local detention center, local correctional facility, or regional jails to participate in a peer support counseling program. Number 2, assault in the third degree. The bill expands the scope of assault third degree to include healthcare workers in jails, penitentiaries, or local state correctional or detention facilities. I think this honorable body passed that a few years ago for nurses in hospitals and medical facilities as well. House Bill 188 is supported by the Kentucky Jailers Association, CACO, and KLC. With these 2 additions to the law, our much-needed jail and correctional employees can have similar mental and physical protection as their peers in other settings. Mr. Speaker, if there are no questions, I move for the passage of House Bill 188 as amended by House Floor Amendment 1.
Question before the body is passage of House Bill 188 as amended by House Floor Amendment 1. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk will sound the chimes. Those in favor vote aye. Those opposed, nay. Roll call is open for your vote. Have all members voted? Does any member wish to change or explain their vote? Clerk will take the roll. Being 97 members voting aye, no members voting nay, House Bill 188 as amended by House Floor Amendment 1 is passed. Gentleman from Warren.
Move the clincher, please.
Objection. Clincher is applied. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 189 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for a third time, by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage.
Motion is that House Bill 189 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title and sponsor only, and placed on its passage. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 189, an act relating to pedestrians. Representative Jackson.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the gentleman from Warren 20 for explanation of the bill and motion thereon.
To recognize the gentleman from Warren 20 for explanation of the bill and a motion thereon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Would you have the clerk to please report House Committee Substitute 1 to House Bill 189?
Clerk, please report.
House Committee Substitute 1 to House Bill 189.
Gentleman from Warren.
I move for adoption.
Motion is for the adoption of House Committee Substitute 1. Is there any discussion in the committee substitute? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. House Committee Substitute 1 is adopted. Gentleman from Warren.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, today I rise in support of House Bill 189, a straightforward but important public safety measure that was brought to me by local leaders and law enforcement in Bowling Green and Warren County after a rise in serious accidents and pedestrian fatalities at busy state-maintained roadways. Across Kentucky, we have many state roads that were designed for fast-moving traffic, not for pedestrian occupancy. When pedestrians are present in those travel corridors, it creates dangerous and unprecedented situations that risk the public safety of both drivers and pedestrians. House Bill 189 addresses these concerns by establishing a clear, uniform, statewide standard that limits the presence of stationary pedestrians in state-maintained right-of-ways that are not designed for pedestrian use, without impacting lawful use of pedestrians' designated areas while still allowing reasonable, safety-based local exceptions. Importantly, House Bill 189 preserves local decision-making. Cities may authorize narrowly tailored permitting exceptions by ordinance when conditions allow, and pedestrians' use can be safely accommodated. Again, to be clear, this bill does not ban walking, jogging. It does not impact sidewalks, crosswalks, or other designated pedestrian areas. Let me emphasize that again. This bill does not impact sidewalks, crosswalks, or other designated pedestrian areas. At its core, this bill is about preventing tragedies before they happen and creating predictable, consistent safety standards across the Commonwealth. House Bill 189 is supported by the Kentucky League of Cities, the Kentucky Association of Counties, the Kentucky Association of Chief of Police. and the Kentucky Sheriff's Association. I respectfully urge support and favorable vote on this bill. Mr. Speaker, if there are no questions, I move for passage of House Bill 189 as amended by House Committee Sub 1.
Question before the body is passage of House Bill 189 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Campbell 67 for discussion of the matter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And may I ask the gentleman a question?
He will.
And thank you. I mean, I know I had some questions in committee on this, and as you were talking, I'm just trying to understand, with this bill, if it passes, could you stand in a crosswalk and not be cited?
Gentleman from Warren.
Good question from the gentleman from Campbell. Crosswalks are exempt in this bill unless it was on a major state highway that you stood there for an extended period of time, then possibly that could happen. Don't know why you would need to do that, but that possibly could happen then.
Gentleman from Campbell.
Could I speak briefly on this bill?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And look, I really appreciate the intention of this bill to improve public safety and pedestrian safety in particular. I've just had, I don't know, maybe I'm getting lost in the weeds, but there's a lot of strange details and implications of this bill, like I said. I'm not sure it's actually solving the problem. I'm worried that this is a tool that could be used to unfairly target people who are either homeless or protesting or something. I also just, I know when we think about state highways, we often think about, large expressways, 4-lane. We have a lot of state highways that go through residential areas as well, small streets. And I don't think what we're I don't believe this is the intention, but I think that the bill as currently drafted could be poorly used in some of those situations. So even though I really like the intent and I would hope we can make pedestrians safer, I'm going to vote no on this one. Thank you.
Question before the body is passage of House Bill 189 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, clerk will sound the chimes. Those in favor vote aye. Those opposed, nay. Roll call is open for your vote. Have all members voted?
Yeah. No.
Does any member wish to change or explain their vote? Clerk will take the roll. 80 members voting aye, 11 members voting nay. House Bill 189 is amended by House Committee Substitute 1 is passed. Gentleman from Warren.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move the clincher.
No objection, so ordered. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Bill 258 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for a third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage.
Motion is that House Bill 258 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for the third time by title and sponsor only, and placed upon its passage. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 258, an act relating to the transportation of milk. Representative Payne.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I yield to the gentleman from Henderson for explanation of the bill and motion thereon.
I recognize the gentleman from Henderson for explanation of the bill and a motion thereon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Will you please have the clerk report House Committee Substitute 1 to House Bill 258?
Clerk, please report.
House Committee Substitute 1 to House Bill 258.
Gentleman from McCracken. Gentleman from Henderson.
I move adoption of House Committee Substitute 1.
Motion is for the adoption of House Committee Substitute 1. Is there any discussion of the committee substitute? Seeing none, those in favor signify by voting aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. House Committee Substitute 1 is adopted. Gentleman from Henderson.
House Bill 258 is a straightforward measure that will extend an uplifting hand to Kentucky dairy farmers. Currently, Kentucky law limits the maximum weight of a milk tanker and truck at 80,000 pounds, preventing our milk haulers from completely filling their load, requiring additional and unnecessary trips and even causing a safety concern. This bill increases the maximum weight to 90,000 pounds with a 10% variance on state highways. The committee sub classifies milk as a non-divisible product as permitted by federal law, which allows the inclusion of any federal highway that is part of the national truck network in this increase with a permit. All 7 states connected to Kentucky have some form of milk transportation exemption. This specific weight limit will put us at or below the limit of many other states. The high cost of fuel and equipment is one of the primary reasons small dairy farmers continue to consolidate and struggle to survive. I ask the members of this honorable body to take advantage of this easy opportunity to respond to the needs of these hardworking farmers. Take this opportunity to govern with a common sense approach that will benefit the producer and consumer as prices at the grocery store continue being a top concern for most Kentuckians. Mr. Speaker, if there are no questions, I move passage of House Bill 258.
Question before the body is passage of House Bill 258 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Taylor for discussion of the matter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Would the sponsor yield to a question?
He will yield.
Sponsor, I like your bill. I'm for your bill. My question for you is, where does Chick-fil-A stand on this particular bill?
Gentleman from Henderson.
I have not spoken with that particular stakeholder.
Gentleman from Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Question before the body. Passage of House Bill 258 as amended by House Committee Substitute 1. Clerk will sound the chimes. Those in favor vote aye. Those opposed, nay. Roll call is open for your vote. Have all members voted? Does any member wish to change or explain their vote? Clerk will take the roll. 97 members voting aye, no members voting nay. House Bill 258, as amended by House Committee Substitute 1, is passed. Gentleman from Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move the clincher.
Without objection, so ordered. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, that concludes the state fair, our orders of the day.
Next order of business, motions, petitions, communications, and announcements. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Resolution 55 be taken from the Committee on Committees and brought to the House floor.
Without objection, so ordered. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I first need to yield to the lady from Davis for an announcement.
Chair recognizes the lady from Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We want to be sure and recognize we've got lots of ladies that have been in the annex today from the Kentucky Federation of Republican Women. So they've all been running around in our red, and so we want to make them feel welcome.
Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I now need to yield to the gentleman from Perry for a very important announcement.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Perry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The very important announcement is the same as last Friday. KSPPA breakfast, 0700. All legislators are invited, including big boys.
Members take note. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, that is all that I have for motions, petitions, communications, and announcements.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from Clark. For what purpose, sir?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like the clerk to report citation 019 by title only.
Clerk, please report.
Citation 19, Representative Dotson. Citation of celebration. The House of Representatives of the Commonwealth of Kentucky hereby recognizes and honors Ale 8-1.
Gentleman from Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We gather today to celebrate a truly remarkable milestone in the history of the Commonwealth, the 100th anniversary of Ale 8-1. While the Ale 8-1 Bottling Company was first established in Winchester by George Lee Wayne Scott in 1902, it was in 1926 that the world was introduced to the unique ginger citrus taste of A Late One at the Clark County Fair. Ale 8-1 is far more than just a beverage. It is a fixture of our community and a testament to the strength of Kentucky family values. For a century, it has remained family-owned and based in Winchester, providing a livelihood for 120 employees who live and work in the surrounding area. This dedication to the local people was recently honored with the prestigious 2025 Bluegrass Steward Award, recognizing the company's stewardship in Kentucky and its unwavering support for the Winchester community. Furthermore, L81 stands as a premier Kentucky Proud product. It holds the proud distinction of being the only soft drink invented in Kentucky that continues to be made in Kentucky to this day. As one of the founding members of the Kentucky Proud program, L81 has been a leader in promoting products grown and made right here in our home state of Kentucky. The secret to their longevity lies in the commitment to tradition. Every bottle of L81 originates from small batches of a secret family recipe, still hand-blended by Fielding Rogers, the fourth-generation family owner. He continues to follow his great-great-uncle's original handwritten notes, ensuring that the taste we enjoy today is the same one that has captured the hearts a century ago. As we recognize and congratulate L81 on 100 years of growth and success, we honor a company that represents the very best of Kentucky's spirit and industry. Please join me today in celebrating a century of L81, a true Kentucky original.
Without objection, citation is adopted. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Ward 19. For what purpose, sir?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To make an announcement to the body.
Yes, sir.
The Kentucky History Caucus invites all the members to celebrate America 250 Kentucky tonight at the Thomas D. Clark Center for Kentucky History. Beginning at 5:30 p.m., there will be a reception and a highlight screening of Ken Burns' new film, The American Revolution. Please come by if you can.
Members take note. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Ward 17. For what purpose, sir?
Mr. Speaker, I move to act on a resolution.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Speaker, could you ask the clerk to report Resolution 49 by title only?
Nope. Gentleman from Ward 17, we do not have that in our possession. We'll try to come back with you before the end of motions, petitions, communications. Chair recognizes the lady from Jefferson 40. For what purpose, ma'am?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I ask the clerk to please report citation number 23 by title only?
Clerk, please report.
Citation 23, Representative Kulkarni. Citation of celebration. The House of Representatives of the Commonwealth of Kentucky hereby offers sincere congratulations to Caitlin Clements.
Lady from Jefferson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, please join me in wishing Caitlin Clements a very happy 16th birthday today. Caitlin is an extraordinary young woman. As a sophomore at Assumption High School, she's a gifted scholar, but more importantly, she is a loyal friend, a caring classmate, and someone who always looks for ways to help others. Through her work with the nonprofit Blanket Louisville, she has served homeless and vulnerable neighbors in need, showing a heart beyond her years. Her character was recognized when she received the 2024 YMCA Youth Character Award for respect, honesty, and responsibility. Last year, Caitlin was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia, and since that time has faced her illness with extraordinary strength, resilience, a positive attitude, and a beautiful smile that continues to inspire those who know her. Her journey has brought our community together to support this amazing young lady. Last November, in recognition of her service, Blanket Louisville honored her by naming their annual drive Caitlin's Collection, as it was also the first time in 10 years that Caitlin was unable to attend the event due to her illness. Caitlin's spirit reflects the example of her parents, Kim and Christopher. Many of us in Louisville know the Clements family. They're a family of deep faith who are well known in our city for their service to their community. Their love and guidance has shaped the remarkable woman we honor today. Caitlin is a source of pride and inspiration to everyone who knows her, and we celebrate not only her accomplishments, but her heart, her bravery, and the light that she brings to our community. Colleagues, please join me in wishing Caitlin a very warm and happy Sweet 16th, commending her for her bravery in her fight against cancer, and wishing her all success and health in future. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move adoption.
Without objection, so ordered. Thank you, Lady from Jefferson. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, that House Resolution 49 be taken from the Committee on Committees and brought to the House floor.
Without objection, so ordered. Gentleman from Warren 17, your motion is now in order.
I ask the clerk to report Resolution 49.
Clerk, please report.
House Resolution 49, a resolution recognizing July 11th, 2026 as Remember Rechenitsa Day in Kentucky. Representative Duvall.
Gentleman from Warren.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The members of the House of Representatives acknowledge the valuable role and substantial impact Bosnian immigrants have in the Commonwealth. The massacre in Srebrenica in July 1995, which resulted in the systematic killing of over 8,000 Bosniak victims, has been recognized as an act of genocide. Kentucky has become home to many Bosnians who fled due to war and ethnic cleansing that took place in the 1990s and who have become integral members of communities in the Commonwealth. Many members of Kentucky's Bosnian community are survivors or descendants of survivors of the genocide, carrying with them memories of unimaginable loss and pain. And the Commonwealth of Kentucky seeks to promote awareness of genocide, support educational efforts, and foster a commitment to preventing similar acts from occurring in the future. The gentleman from Warren 20, Edmondson 19, and Allen 22 and I are all thankful for the many contributions made by our Bosnian community in Bowling Green. We especially recognize Taz from Taz Trucking, who has provided high-paying jobs and contributed to the economic success of our region. There is a Bosnian reception in room 125 upon adjournment today, and all are invited for this. Mr. Speaker, I move passage of House Resolution 49.
Without objection, so ordered. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Fayette 77. For what purpose, sir?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to do the little-known Black History fact.
Yes, sir.
Today's featured person is Mary McLeod Bethune, 1875 to 1955, termed the First Lady of the Struggle. Bethune believed that education was the ultimate passport to freedom. She rose from being a child of formerly enslaved parents to becoming an advisor to U.S. presidents, particularly Franklin Delano Roosevelt. She was very good friends with Miss Eleanor Roosevelt. Educational founder was just $1.50 and 5 students. She founded the Daytona Normal and Industrial Institute for Negro Girls, which later became Bethune-Cookman University. She saw a junkyard and said she wanted to put a school there. And as a result of that, Bethune-Cookman University came into being. She served as the Director of Negro Affairs of the National Youth Administration under FDR and led the Black Cabinet, an unofficial group of advisors on African American issues. Her global influence, she was the only woman of color at the founding conference of the United Nations in 1945. Her legacy is one of international building. She didn't ask for a seat at the table, she built the table. Her work ensured that black women had a collective voice in national policy, and her university remains a beacon of HBCU excellence. Ms. Mary McLeod Bethune, thank you.
Chair recognizes the lady from Butler. For what purpose, ma'am?
To act on a resolution.
Ma'am.
Would you have the clerk to report House Resolution 55 by title only?
Clerk, please report.
House Resolution 55, a resolution recognizing February 5th, 2026 as Kentucky Nurses Day in the Commonwealth. Representative Raymer.
Lady from Butler.
I rise today to recognize February 5th as Kentucky Nurses Day at the Capitol. Nursing is more than a profession. It is the backbone of our healthcare system. Nurses are often the first face a patient sees in crisis and the steady presence that guides them through recovery. They serve in our hospitals, clinics, schools, long-term care facilities, public health departments, and rural communities, providing skilled, compassionate care at every stage of life. Nurses do not see political affiliation, party labels, or ideology. They see a patient in need. Care is delivered without bias, judgment, or condition, only with professionalism, dignity, and compassion. As a nurse myself, I know this work demands clinical expertise, critical thinking, and an unwavering commitment to patients, often under extraordinary pressure. Kentucky's nurses advocate for their patients, strengthen our communities, and uphold the highest standards of care, even in the most challenging circumstances. Today, we recognize and thank Kentucky's nurses for their dedication, professionalism, and service to our Commonwealth. Their work saves lives, supports families, and makes our healthcare system stronger every day. I move adoption of House Resolution 55.
Without objection, so ordered. Any other member seeking recognition of motions, petitions, communications, and announcements? Seeing none, the next order of business is introduction of new bills and resolutions. Clerk, please report.
House Bill 564, Representative All, an act relating to teacher professional development. House Bill 565, Representative Dossett, an act relating to fire protection. House Bill 566, Representative Meade, an act relating to judicial sales. House Bill 567, Representative Flannery, an act relating to open records. House Bill 568, Representative Meredith, an act relating to public adjusters. House Bill 569, Representative Dietz, an act relating to designation of special judges. House Bill 570, Representative Dietz, an act relating to the election of justices of the Supreme Court. House Bill 571, Representative Holloway, an act relating to light pollution and declaring an emergency. House Bill 572, Representative Bojanowski, an act relating to preschool education programs. House Bill 573, Representative Johnson, an act relating to campaign finance. House Bill 574, Representative Donworth, an act relating to preschool education programs. House Bill 575, Representative Hart, an act relating to inheritance tax deductions. House Bill 576, Representative Duvall, an act relating to workforce investment, making an appropriations therefore, and declaring an emergency. House Concurrent Resolution 57, Representative Grossell, a concurrent resolution establishing the Economic Development Incentive Modernization Task Force. House Resolution 58, Representative Raymer, a resolution recognizing February 6, 2026 as National Wear Red Day in Kentucky to raise awareness of heart disease and women's health. House Resolution 59, Representative Grossberg, a resolution expressing support for Iranian protesters who are resisting the oppressive Iranian regime. And House Resolution 60, Representative Watkins, a resolution recognizing February 11th, 2026 as Recovery Advocacy Day in the Commonwealth of Kentucky.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Next order of business is a meeting of Committee on Committees and Rules Committee. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, the House would stand in recess for a meeting of the Committee on Committees and the Rules Committee at the clerk's desk.
Without objection, the House will stand in recess for a meeting of the Committee on Committees and Rules Committee at the clerk's desk. House come to order. Next order of business, the report of Committee on Committees and the Rules Committee. Clerk, please report.
The Committee on Committees has met and referred the following bills and resolutions: to Appropriations and Revenue, House Bills 515 and 522; to Banking and Insurance, House Bill 527; to Families and Children, House Bills 523 and 524; to the Judiciary, House Bills 517 and 526; to Local Government, House Bills 518 and 520; to Primary and Secondary Education, House Bill 513; to State Government, House Bill 516; to Transportation, House Bills 514, 519, and 525. The Rules Committee has met and posted the following bills and resolutions to the regular orders for Friday, February 6, 2026. House Bills 45, 50, 212, 333, 369, 385, 387, and 388.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. The next order of business, introduction of 4 amendments, there being no need. Next order of business, adjournment. Gentleman from McCracken.
Mr. Speaker, I move you, sir, the House will stand adjourned until 9 a.m. Friday, February 6th, the year of our Lord, 2026.
Without objection, the House shall stand adjourned until 9 a.m. Friday, February 6th, the year of our Lord, 2026.